This conference will now be recorded.
Hi everyone, so I'm Greg from ACA Pacific Singapore. So today I'll continue on with the Getting Started with SketchUp series. I'll be focusing mainly on populating your design space using the 3D warehouse. So let's go straight into our interface. Okay, so now I have a very simple interior design that we have built previously. And you can see now a single armchair that has been input into our interior space. So this actually was not modeled by myself. This was taken directly from the 3D warehouse. So the 3D warehouse, firstly, is a very large design library that has all the user or all the items that have been designed by the community, also by SketchUp, that has been input into this space that you can use. So firstly, you can find the 3D warehouse in two areas. The first one is under your components panel on the right. So you can see here, if I expand my components panel, you can search for, what I did was I searched for cabinets. So for example, if you just search for cabinet, you can find and open different cabinets and import it into your model directly. So right now I want to try to show you how to use this panel. So the first panel here is under cabinet. We can easily search for, let's just double click this cabinet here. So while searching for the cabinet, we then can choose our preferred design. So let's just take the first one, and it will immediately import into your model space directly. So you place it first, and then after that, you can do the movements based on your move tool that we are using. We can then rotate it to our desired location. And then, for example, flush it against the wall. So that's one example of how to use or import geometry from your 3D warehouse. There's also a more comprehensive way to search this item. You can also go straight to your window inside your 3D warehouse. So maybe this is a little bit more recommended for beginners because it gives you a larger and easier view for you to see the components that you're uploading. In this case, you can do two types of searches. You can search from all categories you can see here, and then you can look into specific different categories that you're trying to find your model, or you can actually just search for the item itself. Okay, so first now I'll show you now, let's go straight into the furniture panel, and let's try to upload this dressing table. So if I click on it, you can see the materials, the polygons, the file size, as well as how many downloads and likes this model have. So usually if you want to have a model that is, I would say, a bit more well designed, you can always look at the amount of downloads. Those items that are normally very well designed usually have a larger amount of downloads. So looking at this, okay, this is a good one. We click download, we click yes. So you can see here it is quite a large dressing table. So no worries on this. Some items you might see might be bigger than your interior space, for example, or might be designed for something else originally. What you can do is you can always modify these items to scale it to your desired height, width, and so on. So the first thing we do is, okay, this is too big. We want to scale this down. So we just click the scale button on the left and we bring this down. So you just bring this down to your desired size, and you can change the height to fit what you're looking for your dressing table. Again, we head back to our move tool. We find reference points for us to rotate the item 90 degrees, and then we can select the end here and flush to our wall. So again, let's try that again. Select your object and flush it to the wall. So that's how you can get, for example, your dressing table to fit into your interior size. Let's try something else. Let's specifically search for something in the 3D warehouse. Okay. So let's say now I want my dining table and I want to input it into my model. We can always search for dining table, and then you can find your desired model or your desired design. So there is really many different options for you to choose from. So this is really up to you on what you think is the best suited to your model. I think it's really interesting for you to continue searching, to continue finding all these very interesting designs made by the community, and you can actually try to download them one by one to input into your model. Okay, so let's try a very simple one and see this dining table that we have here. Let's just download it and load it directly into our model. So this one has an entire interior space in it. So some of the items will give you an entire interior space with it. All you have to do is to come into it and you can do modifications. So the good thing about downloading all these items is if you need to modify them, you can download these components and you can directly modify them by double clicking into it. So there's no worries if you download a model with extra components or things that you want to change. You can always very easily manipulate and modify them, and you can see now I have removed all the wall components of the item. From this point I can then bring it and flush to the flooring that I have here. If you think this is too large, in this case, we can always again go back to our scale and put it smaller or larger based on the dimensions that's required from your interior space. So just by having these few examples here, we can see that we have already populated and increased the level of detail in my interior space that we have here. So just to give you a reminder again, these are not rigid items in your components. If you prefer to have a thicker handle here, you can always double click it and you can always manipulate all these values. You can see here, you can change the length of this and so on. So all these items are for you to download and for you to modify based on what your design intent is or what do you prefer to have in your model. And this is the way exactly how you can choose how you can use your 3D warehouse to increase and populate your 3D space that you have here.